You're listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show, where wealth is empowering, purpose is crucial, and high vibes are non-negotiable. And now, here's your host, certified business coach and practical woo strategist, Sarah J. Loureiro.
Hey beauty, did you know that I just opened up some spots to work with me one-on-one? As an exclusive one-on-one business coaching client, you will get access to pretty much everything that I release this calendar year. So including my mastermind, including the amazing fully booked formula. If this is your year to finally up-level your business to the income and impact that really pushes you beyond your wildest dreams, we need to talk. You can book a free call with me to see if you're a good fit from the link bit.ly//let's talk success. That's uppercase L, uppercase T, uppercase S. Or you can head over to my website at sarahjloureiro.com/workwithsarah to find out more. Hey, welcome to a new week, a new realm of possibilities, a new podcast episode all about how to launch a course or program. So this is going to be a very strategy-focused episode. It's also going to have a little bit of energy and mindset work weaved into it as well, because you can't just implement strategy in your business without having those other two pieces. But listen up, because this is going to be really, really freaking important. I really feel like there are going to be a lot of really, really good tips in here. So I'm really excited to be able to give you this episode today. So how to launch a course or program online. So how to be like a digital course creator, whether it is you wanting to launch like a brand new program, a brand new group program, a brand new digital course. This can even apply to your one-on-one services. So if you're looking to get a whole bunch of people into your one-on-one services at once, basically any type of product or service that you're selling can benefit from a launch. So what is a launch exactly? Well, here's the thing. If you just kind of start talking to people about a specific program that you have, even if it's something that they can kind of buy forever, so not something that they necessarily have to buy within a specific time frame, if you just kind of start the conversation just by saying, hey, I have this brand new course out, you're going to love it, you don't really grab a whole bunch of people's attention. And here's why. On the internet, we are constantly bombarded with different things. And in order for us to switch our attention to something that might potentially be valuable to us, like a course or a program, if we haven't been warmed up to it yet, and if we haven't really been thinking about that exact thing that you're offering, chances are we're probably not going to go and hit the buy now button, because we haven't fully developed a thought process necessary to make a decision based on whether or not we feel like we need what it is that you have to offer. So in short, this is why you need a launching platform. This is why launching is so necessary within an online business and within a business in general. If you've ever seen any type of company unleash a new product, it's not like, hey, here's a new product. They usually start talking about the innovation of the product, or talking about what's coming up, or that something's coming up, and they give you a little bit of surprise, give you a little bit of intrigue, mounting up to a specific day where they know that their product is launching. And chances are a lot of companies also either give you a specific discount within a specific time frame, or, like the sale ends on this day, or this is the last day to sign up for this one thing is X day. And that's because it creates scarcity. Because so many of us don't make decisions until the very last minute that we need to make the decision by. And so if there's no last minute, there's no decision made. If there's no decision made, there's no one purchasing your course or your program. So just think about that as you really think about what it is you're going to launch and why it is that you're launching it. And the difference here can be very, very, very big. So the difference between doing something soft launch, that's like, oh, hey, here's this product. I've been creating it forever. I really, really love it. And just kind of being like, you can purchase it at any time. Here's the price, versus creating some intrigue around it, creating some awareness around it, creating a lot of interest around the topic that your course or program is going to be talking about, and then offering the course or program and offering it in the specific time frame is much more appealing, and it's also much more profitable as a business model because of the fact that you're creating scarcity with what it is that you are giving people, because you're telling them, hey, you should be interested in this. This is why you are interested in it. This is why you need it. And this is the way that I can provide a solution for you. My solution is my program, but you only have the specific amount of time to purchase my program. And with that, it really flows a lot more with the human brain and within the mind to guide people to make those decisions that much quicker. All right, and so what makes a successful launch? The very first thing that you want to make sure of is that your audience is prepared for whatever it is that you're offering them, and it's actually something that they want and that they will use. So this is actually, there are a few different reasons why launches go badly, and usually I have clients who come up to me and are just like, oh, I tried to do this once and it didn't work. And then when we look through it, it's so clear as to why it didn't work. And then when we tweak it for them, it ends up working for them so much better. But you want to make sure that what it is that you're offering is something that your audience wants, and it's something that your audience needs. So if your audience is looking for something to solve a specific problem for them, and you have like your solution to that specific problem is your program, that is freaking perfect. So always make sure that first and foremost that you're selling the right program or the right course or program to the right audience. That is like the foundation of what you work on. And this is why it's so important and so helpful to have a business coach or a mentor who's guiding you through this, because they can help you to uncover all of these little pieces of your really successful launch. And so the next thing that you need to run a successful course or program launch is to have a really amazing runway. And so I've loved this way of thinking about a launch, and this is why I'm going to share it with you. But essentially, the longer your runway, so if you think about a runway for an airplane, you want essentially your runway to be all of the information that you give people leading up to the launch. So all of the value that you can give them, all of the ways that you can position yourself as an expert for them to then launch their airplane, right? For you to be able to launch your airplane, and for you to have a much higher payoff for all of the work that you've done. So the longer the runway, the more profitable the launch, right? So if you think about your airplane, if you are just doing a teeny tiny launch platform for your airplane, it's probably not going to go very far. It's probably not going to get very high, but it needs that momentum. Your airplane needs that momentum in order to really swoop all the way up into the cloud. So that's ultimately what you want to aim for. And so what you want to start doing is teasing your audience to tell them a little bit more about what it is that you're offering them. So tell them a little bit more about the specific subject that your program is going to be about without necessarily talking to them about the program. Maybe you say, I have something exciting coming up in a few weeks, but you want to be talking about the specific pain point. You want to be talking about whatever it is that your program is solving at least 2 weeks before you actually launch that product or service or course. And the next thing you want to think about in terms of launching is to have a launch event. And so what I mean by a launch event is it's one thing to kind of send out a whole bunch of emails about a specific topic. It's another thing entirely to have like something that's really, really high engagement that a lot of people can be watching and consuming at the exact same time. And that can ultimately just capture them so much quicker and so much more intentionally so that they are engaging with your content, so that you know that they're engaging with your content because they signed up for engaging with your content. And ultimately that will help you to present your solution to their problem in a much more efficient way. And so a few different ways that you can do this is through either creating a challenge, so creating, anywhere between like a 3-day to a 14-day challenge, about the topic where you're giving them a little bit of a taste of whatever it is that you're offering them in your course, program, or service, or doing a webinar or a masterclass where you're walking them through just really amazing content that you know that they'll love. And, there's a significant portion of people who are watching who are going to be purchasing your program because they will want more from you. They will want to see what else you have to offer them. You can also do something like a live stream event. You can do a video series. You can do an audio training where you're only releasing it in a specific time frame. And basically any one of those things can be a really, really powerful mechanism to get a lot of people involved in your brand and a lot of people involved with your message to then be able to give them an even bigger taste of what it is that you do, for you to give them even more possibilities, even more opportunities if they want to purchase whatever it is that you're offering. And so once you choose your launch platform and once you start inviting people into your launch platform, then the next thing that you're going to want to do is to execute that entire process, but at the same time, figure out how long you want to tell people about your program for. So you want to have your cart open for at least a week. Some people do up to a month. It's totally up to you. And once again, this really does also depend on your audience. It depends on the specific strategies that you use. It depends on all of the mindset pieces that also kind of come in the way for you, which is why it's so freaking important. I can't say this enough. It's so important that you invest in your business. You invest in a coach or a mentor if you really want to bring your business up into much higher incomes, much higher impact, because there are people out there who just really, really know their shit. Like me, for example, I've been launching programs for at least the past 2 years, if not 3. And I've had multiple five-figure launches. And I can, very confidently tell you all of these things in this podcast because of the fact that I've been through it. I've been through failed launches and I've been through really successful launches, and I've helped my clients do the same. So it's so important that you get that support that you need, especially for a lot of these mindset pieces that a lot of us don't really realize are a thing. And so when you create your cart open time frame, you're going to want to feel out how long you want to keep the cart open. So do you want to tell people about it for 2 weeks, for 1 week, for an entire month? And then you're also going to want to figure out how you're going to tell people. Is it through your Facebook group? Is it through your Instagram account? Is it through Facebook ads? Is it through email? Is it through Twitter? Is it through LinkedIn? Is it through your Facebook personal page? Is it through, in-person events that you're doing? Is it through guest collaborations? There's so many different ways that you can tell people about this amazing program, course, or service that you have that can really impact and make all of the difference in terms of how many people are seeing it and how many people are hearing about it. And so once you figure that out, then what you're going to want to do is prepare to sell. And selling can get really iffy and icky for a lot of people. I know that it does for my clients when they first start working with me. But in order for you to sell your product, course, or service, you're going to have to sell it. Right? You're going to have to sell it, and you're going to have to sell it consistently. And so selling this program, course, service, product, whatever it is, You want to make sure that you're selling it every single day that your cart is open. You want to make sure that you're telling a new person about this amazing thing that you created every single day. You want to make sure that you're telling them about the possibilities that it could create in their lives. You want to make sure that you're telling them about what is possible for them. You want to make sure that you're telling them, like why they should purchase your product and not someone else's. You want to make sure that you're selling the shit out of this thing, especially if it's something that you really, really believe in, and that if you've put a whole bunch of time and effort into achieving, into accomplishing, and if you know that it's going to change their lives. I mean, if you're watching this episode and if you're really fully and truly thinking about doing this, chances are you are already there. But if you do not think that your program is worthy of all of that, it's probably not going to sell, and you're probably going to have to go to square one, which is what I just talked about in terms of making sure that you're developing the right product, course, service, or program for the right people. Now, launches are very peculiar things. They have a complete life of their own. They are an event, and events by definition are things that never go perfectly to plan. So if you've ever gotten married and had to plan a wedding, or if you've ever been in the events business, I know that I've done both. They definitely never go exactly to plan. And that's the exact same thing as a launch. It will never go perfectly to plan because you're talking about human beings here. We're not just talking about statistics. We're talking about people who are behind these statistics. We're talking about people who are reading your emails, who are watching your videos. And people in and of themselves aren't statistics. You can't just plug them into an equation because there's so many different factors that go into it. And this is why it's so important to incorporate both the mindset and the energetic work into your launch. Because one, you want to make sure that you're energetically aligned to everything that it is that you're doing, to the launch platform that you have decided to do, to the time frame that you've decided to do, to the selling techniques that you've decided to do. Because if any of those are off kilter for you, they're going to be off kilter for your audience. And the second part of that is your mindset. And so what is it that you're perceiving to be true about your launch? And if you've ever gone through a failed launch before, or quote unquote failed launch, give yourself a pat on the back and a huge clap, because guess what? These are actually a lot more common than we think. There are a lot more of these quote unquote failed launches that not a whole lot of people talk about. I know that when I first started this business, I started talking about mine right from the get-go because I wanted people to hear that they weren't alone, right? I've had literally the very first product launch that I did got 0 signups, and I had an email list of like 130 people. So I was like, okay, I'm totally going to convert this at 5%. I'm going to get like 7 or 8 people to sign up. It's awesome. It's a done deal. So excited about it. I even created these like really crazy bonuses with it. And I, did all the emails. I like checked off all of my boxes for it. And it didn't sell not even one spot. And I was crushed. I was completely crushed because I was just like, what happened? How did my friend do a launch that was so similar? And I just basically copied everything that she did. And, she had a really successful launch and I didn't. Like, what is really going on here? And the main problem with my launch was actually the very first thing that I talked about in this episode, was that I wasn't providing the right program for the right audience. So it was a great program. I had a lot of people interested in it, but ultimately it wasn't for them. It wasn't a product that was made specifically for that audience. Once I revamped the program though, and revamped the messaging in the program and resold it, I got my 5% conversion rate. I got a much higher than industry average conversion rate on it because everything felt aligned. Everything felt aligned from the price point to the audience, to the messaging, to even what I called the program. I ended up calling the program something completely different. And that program went on to do extremely well for my business because of the fact that I had to, really learn from the first time that I did it and not necessarily just listen to what worked for someone else, but at the same time, listen to what I felt was the best way to be able to offer this program to the people who needed it. And here's the thing, you can totally 100%. I mean, the first time that I launched that program, I wasn't working with a mentor. I wasn't working with a coach. They could have easily told me exactly what was going on and what was going wrong with my launch. But because of the fact that I didn't hire anyone, I didn't have anyone telling me any of that. I was just kind of copying things off of a friend. And even so, if you're doing it on your own, which I don't necessarily recommend, especially if you want to save yourself some headaches. But if you're doing it on your own, or if you're doing it with a mentor, there are going to be some specific points in time within your launching process, within the process when your cart is open, where no one's purchasing your program. And you're just going to freak out. And you're going to say, oh my goodness, what the heck is going on? No one's purchasing my program. And that is literally all in your head. Because people can purchase your program at any point in time. You can get the email for your customer receipt in your inbox at any single point in time. The vast majority of people who purchase things for launches purchase on the very last day. So it could be as much as 90% of your purchases can come on the last day of your launch. And I've seen that before in my business as well, especially for my last 5-figure launch. It was like literally the vast majority, I'm pretty sure it was 90% was the very last day of the launch. And so this is where the mindset work becomes so important, because you literally need to believe that the right people are out there for your product or service, and that you are promoting it to the right people, and that the right people are going to show up. That's what's going to bring you through those few weeks where you're telling so many people about whatever it is that you're doing, because you need to understand that your success is inevitable within your launch. You need to understand that there are people out there who are willing to pay whatever money it is that you are asking for your specific product or service. It's usually not about the money. The money is usually not the reason why people don't end up signing up. It's because they don't understand how it's possible for them. They don't understand how it's going to help them. They can't identify with those possibilities. So if you're not showing them that, that's going to be a much bigger deterrent for them than the actual price of whatever it is that you're offering. And so if you can deal with that mindset piece, and if you can have specific prompts and specific ways that you can really work on your mindset throughout your entire launch, you're going to end up being so much more successful at it, because you're going to be creating thoughts that create actions that create the results that you want to see for the ultimate outcome that you want to have for your specific launch. If you are not keeping up with your mindset throughout that entire process, you are going to continuously think negative thoughts that are going to produce negative actions, which are going to produce negative results, and pretty much prove to your ego as to like why you can't do this, why you can't have a successful launch, why you can't launch a group program, or whatever it is that you really want to do. So let's recap here. For you to have a mega successful, ultimate, amazing, impactful launch, which is totally possible for you, by the way, no matter what industry that you are in, no matter what price point your programs are at, you can have an amazing, profitable launch. I just want to kind of start it off right there. It only takes one launch to have a scalable process that you can then scale into 5 figures, multiply 5 figures, 6 figures, whatever it is that you want your launch to be. Okay, you need a powerful message that speaks to your audience, right? So you need to have a message that really identifies with the audience that you're promoting your message to. You need to have a launching platform, right? So you need to have your runway. You really need to have a really nice runway where you're talking to people about that specific problem that they have and really positioning yourself as the expert within your industry. You need to have a launching platform, so some sort of an event that will help you to grab a whole bunch of people's attention, engagement, really help to change their lives through that attention that engagement, and ultimately lead the people who are ready to your specific offering, your solution, whatever it is that you're selling. And you need to have a launch period where you are keeping your cart open or you're offering a specific deal, but with a deadline where you are constantly selling the crap out of what it is that you created because you believe in it so much and you know that it can change lives. You need to make sure that you have your energy, that your energy is aligned with what it is that you're doing. You need to make sure that your energy is aligned to your message, to your audience, to your launching platform, to your launch event, and ultimately to how long you keep your cart open, what it is that you choose to talk about throughout that, like 1 week to 1 month that you keep your cart open. And you need to have a very solid mindset that will help you to see it through right up until the end, understanding that your success is inevitable and understanding that the right people are out there for that program. So I hope that this helps you get out there and completely rock your next launch. Remember that you are totally capable of having an amazingly profitable launch, and you're literally just one launch away from having a really amazing, scalable, and successful launch of your product, program, course, or service. You've got this. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Hey, did you like or love this episode? If so, I would so appreciate it if you left a review and rated this episode on iTunes. It would literally mean so much to me. And if you have Instagram and are all up in your Instagram stories like I am, I would love it if you would share this episode with your beautiful followers so they can also get all of the high vibes, all of the free information that I'm giving you here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. If you enjoy our show and would like the show notes and free goodies about how to grow your online coaching business, head over to sarahjlorero.com for more information. We hope you'll tune in next time.